you met me ako ahanom say no high school. From there no I'm a no and I made so me call university. Yeah, young woman waha, but nyame adom me so meet me every school e waha no.
Okay. As you say be ya, o say young woman waha o. Oba at the age of 13. Na nyame adom wetimi abere no ho a wa ba be ko school. Give me person mo ma ho me kakra. Michael, we are going for a commercial break. Then after we will continue the program.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ella, me pato my advert pay 1 or 2 be na.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, saying a program, it's going to help everyone because it's going to inspire our children that we brought from Africa. Sometimes you think that we cannot make it, but we can see that we are brother Michael and a sister Gifty are their testimony now. It doesn't matter how the situation will be. If you perseverance, we can make it. So, brother Michael and Auntie Gifty, we thank you so much to join us in my story program. Yeah, a far advert about. We're going to take 1 or 2 adverts. After that, we will come back to continue for our program. Say, Corona ba ama your life in Lakabe. Na you better say life for your money now. You better boss our life for no. I share me anymunyam. And this open say, unya and no be a summertime. What about call outside there? You be say we are Mama Africa, we are Papa Africa, and say Obe John Beacons Fabric. Oh no, and I say we join in now. Obama enter den mpaboa. Fo. To the bia o kind of person chira wa miss now the umba so na was there be me person Ghana for yan yafe. It say ope baby pentade ne bo form laser ne bo form ye be hwe so na ama nwa fa unko Beacons Fabric ya o sabenya bibia bi na oto atare de obeto lazy de obeto na le pam no ene asem no hwe enipa wotimi design tade ya wane yafe na esiu tu ase the real city here also umodu akra we light say me obeti pam de kama rich design de ono o design tade ne maw said ye be ya ebeko yi hwe me say wansu kra police o mu picture ka otim epam hyewo the shop agasa e making and is open say opam ntade bi upeta ye program bi a me say me yam pam enfrefri Ghana ma se go yenti pam biem say kilos no yate so edire wo de ba boka oba to kilos da bi opam na ya abeboa na wo bo ni krom wo se me wo ko to de Africa de aba debi and utopa no Mama Regina wa pam ne kama ama the shop ho e kama obele usua nso a obeza akere wo amana yiye ne number enegu no eza ofre number na obeje oso enoma bia pese opam bia no una obeje oso na akoma kama ye bi ba ku mi ne bi twemai hwe ye ka se etore bia onipa no ba se we di nuaba fruit bi na odije hom nanso abrochenti oto nuaba na egu asa na ase nanso se we tama the uto juice plus ya ahoni biara uhia no ewo fruit mu no osabeka na so we the juice plus be wona bi debi ni panya de se ufre Mama Jana Porsche ya o wala yeso ye wi a me pin na baba hu no before me hu no ene na no o se da se go share juice plus in tema o share juice plus in tema enka no ma ngi tulotisa ma meno juice plus ya bona manimpo mudi ya kama en se ope juice plus ibia ofre Mama Jana Porsche ya o mama obi baby a obi ano o le postu kama Mama Rosman so Italy ono so ofre no a obenya bi ama Mama Juliana so Brazil ofre na obenya bi ama tieniye hwe obi na ato anka bebrebe bo wantimi ani asekwa dabi se no ma juice plus no enwemu no nyina ho no matwe agu bari baako enti onom no eye duro enya duro ye duane so na eboa ama wo ho ayeden ebiemu yɛmfa ntwa to sama abai de me say e wo se picnic ebi wo ye barbecue na nso koma abɛkyere yɛn strade da bi auntie mati wo fɛfɛfɛ na was aba Derek was Derek mami koma da bi emfataw da bi auntie was ye wie pa o twa mama maybe say o hie koma ibi o ne bla wo lini da busua o sesa mai de o mba chele na se kolonda mo mo akyere wo mo enti o mo so ba chele awu se nyame yodo enti mi say ope enoma bi a ye ask bi a ye kama se o frɛ mama Mavis ya or kings obedi bia ma kama misra so bi ma so a frɛ ma ye say onyo ne ma story so ye ne your brother Mike and na auntie Gift in the Asia this e be wie no na this program no it will change many people's life and I must say it is here ne the ma Auntie Eva na to so ma ye Auntie Eva over to you
yo when me da wasi bebre pa Mr. Lotte.
Yes.
Okay. Please. I learned that your father passed away when you were very young, and you were raised by your mother. Please, Mr. Lotte, can you tell us your story? What happens to your dad?
Okay. It's the way my dad passed is a result of certain events, starting actually from the moment he came to Europe. In the beginning, he came early 90s to Europe, to Belgium, to visit his brother, and he got ill. In that year that he was here in Belgium, he spent almost a year in the hospital. They did a stomach operation and a heart operation, but he recovered fine. When he was in Belgium, the whole situation was quite intense. So the doctors, together with the ministry, they advised that for him to recover properly, his family needs to be by him. So that was one of the main reasons how my mom and I joined him here. And in that period, he studied the language and the Dutch language, and he got a job, and everything went well. But then when we came to Holland, the year that we arrived, the operation they did in the early 90s, the doctors advised that after 10 years, he should have another operation to adjust something in the heart. And when we came here, the doctors did a research, the Dutch doctors did a research, and they said, oh no, it's not urgent. It's okay. We will make an appointment later on to make to do the operation. And so everything was fine. My dad a year later, my dad went to Ghana on holidays, and the doctor called us, me and my mom were still in Holland, and he called us and he said, oh shit, we looked at the pictures again of a year ago, and he overlooked something, and he has to do the operation immediately. It's urgent. And we were shocked because like, yeah, he's in Ghana. Well, wherever he is, he has to come down to Holland to do the operation quickly. So we got a hold of him. He had to cut his holiday short to come and to do the operation, which was initially actually already a year too late. And it was intense because the surgeon that was doing the operation, he himself, that day when he did the operation, he came to us to say, tell us what was going on. And he said, I am not a religious guy, but that moment he was operating, there was an error. The machine was showing an error. He couldn't find what the error was. And he just looked up to God and said, help me. For the first time in his life, he was like, I don't know what to do here. So after the operation, my dad was in coma for a week, and they said that Saturday, they said, yeah, Sunday to be a week. If he doesn't wake up, we don't know his chances of survival. Well, with all our prayers, he woke up that Sunday. We were so happy and relieved, and he was okay. He could write, he could signal, he couldn't talk yet, but that all improved. But the problem is that as a result of these complications during the operations and the late operation, he was diagnosed with heart failure, meaning that his heart cannot pump on a regular basis. So they had to give him medication, and it was something that they were like, the doctors didn't know if it will ever be resolved. But my dad was a strong man. He continued life. He went back to work. He was working at Philips as a head of patent department in Eindhoven. That time, my mom also had a shop, so he was also helping with the shop, buying goods, African goods to sell in the shop. But over the years, he was becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. And that was 2006, just a day after my 16th birthday, actually. In the early morning, he got up to work, to prepare himself for work. He showered, he was dressing, and we heard, I was in my room, I heard a huge bang.
Jesus Christ.
My mom was with my little sister, who was just 3 years old, so she was not in the room with him. So she first went into the room, like wondering what happened, and saw my dad lying there. And she started screaming, and I came down because I was sleeping in the attic. I came down and I saw my dad lying there, panic. I quickly called 911, and he had a heart attack at that moment. And they rushed him to the hospital, and he was in a coma again for a week. It was like a whole deja vu. And again, the doctors said after 6 days, Sunday, after 1 week, he has to wake up. And this time, he wasn't waking up. And we were praying, we were begging God he should make that miracle happen again. And he didn't. He got weaker and weaker, and he died after 7 days in coma. And and we buried him actually on his birthday, 15th April. So
very sad.
It was just me, my mom, and my little sister, who was 3 years old. And she knew my dad because every day, 5 o'clock, she's looking at the window, waiting for the papa to come. She'll rush to grab his bag when he's entering the building, a bag which was too big for her to carry, but she would still do it. And she felt a change and couldn't explain. And it was intense. It was not an easy period. And that is how I lost my dad at the age of 16. Yeah.
So you were living in Belgium, and later on you moved to Holland, because I heard you were saying something like that.
Yeah, at the I think it was 1999, we moved from Belgium to Holland because my dad got an opportunity to work at Philips, and there he made career. So his main reason for coming to Holland was indeed this job opportunity. So that is where we grew up. But because operation was done in Belgium, the Belgian doctors knew his history and everything, and they said, in that year, 1999, around that period, he has to do the operation. But because here, The doctors in Holland did their own research, and they overruled what the Belgians were saying it's not necessary. And the doctors here made that mistake because they looked back at the same pages and then they said, oh shit, it was necessary. We didn't see something at that point. And that actually caused a whole year of delay, which got this as a result. So it's unfortunate that it was that period that we switched countries, and because of where you are living, your insurance and everything, you have to do the operations in the country you live. I mean, he could have done it in Belgium, but then it would have been not covered by insurance because the doctors are capable as well, just as capable as in Belgium. So the insurance only covered the costs that are occurred in Holland, in this country.
Okay. Please, Mr. Alote, if I may ask, how does it feel when you lost one of your parents?
Yeah, it's just traumatizing, and if you lose a parent, your whole life is just upside down on hold. You don't know anymore what to do next. In this situation, in our situation, my mom panicked because we had a little child. She also was confused about what to do next because my dad was actually the breadwinner. My mom was now a housewife. We closed the shop. So also income-wise, we didn't know what was going to happen next. We have the Belgian nationality, so my mom was also in a panic, confused, like, okay, should we move to Belgium or are we okay here? She actually really thought like, okay, we need to go back to Belgium. So we were looking for a house in Belgium, and I personally didn't want to because I felt my life was in Holland. So the whole it's just traumatizing, and it took like months before we realized like, okay, we are still going to be okay, and we can survive this. It also grew.
Mr. Alote, please, I can't hear you.
Auntie Gifty, put your microphone on. Auntie Gifty. Yeah, okay, it's okay now.
Oh, yes, it went off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. What part did you miss? Because I was continuing my story. I didn't know.
You can continue. You just continue it.
Okay. Well, as I was saying, it's very traumatizing, and it really took like months for us to realize like we were going to be okay, and we will survive this. And it drew my mom and I closer, and the things we do at home too. We were more communicating with each other, like, okay, what are we going to do when it comes to let's say letters from governments that came in. Like, we were really like working together to figure out, because I was also just a boy, 16 years old, now have to become the man of the house. So a lot of responsibilities also came to me, like, to help. And it wasn't an easy period. Yeah.
Okay. And if I may ask, you said your dad was a breadwinner in your family.
Yes.
And what was his occupation and also his position in his work?
Yeah, well, also to get a good view, my dad grew up in Ghana. Also went to school there, university. He was at the Air Force as an Air Force pilot. And when he came to Europe, he had different financial positions. And at Philips, his last position was head of patent department. Philips creates a lot of new technologies. You can talk about in healthcare industry and all these things, and all these innovations. It needs to be registered as an idea of Philips. If another company has a similar idea or is copying something, they can prosecute them and charge them a fee or something because it's the property of Philips. So he was heading that department, ensuring that all innovative ideas of Philips is not stolen, and if it is, they prosecute the companies.
So, okay, Mr. Alote, please hold on for me.
Yeah.
So the cano just say the mama say can be 3 weeks in say our rejaya ne and ne kebeya because omu dey wohwa eyewu na abeto ne papa kwan ntina o raised by single parent. Enti meko me akasa me ba gifty so gifty me pa ocho onso ba ne sen na onso so no you just say single parent and na raise you na eden na just a tool because ukasa mu no o ma ehun say o maame and kofa o bai it means na only o maame o bai no na only o maame and o papa nyina na neti it e ba ne say na fe ayawari daya na e de ne bai because any person esua de pa ti den ne bai a wonso so no single parent and raise you. Na me pa chow say ansa na gift ba be kasa so be say me de research to say bia so obi nim enkola mienu bia on papa ana say bia gift so side no ba kan so obi nim a little bit story about them so a bit am na say obi was no no so raised by single parent me pa chow no so bet me raise in hand na ye be man kwan ana obi wo any questioner or person obi san kola na any contribution you are always welcome. Ubetimi ama unsa so na wabeka na fe enti Mrs. Alote me pa ucha wonso den na see ya wonso so no we raise here by single parent.
Yo medase me no yes na nya wari jaye ayo wo to say the o kan no me ba Holland no me ba Holland December 2002 into no 2 months pepe na me mama eta baby into no man shedampo and me mama aunt na in that adolescent age na me grow up say me ba besi so aye oba no because at the age of 6 na oja me ho na oba abrochi into no me na na netina into no me aminya 12 years, me konya 13 na me kabutino na meni Japan so finally afede me ba be hu me ma wo intino me bae no na onyem 6 months intino na onyem menua ketwa Beatrice intino na ne ho ye ntino 2 months after no na just check up na omoko sa check up no na apem for check up na omoko ne de bia ntino mpono kompono na make chen so ma otiri ho nya ma me kofa away gem be shell den na me kofa away na be shell but na me nim say eno na ye last day crampo na me hu no ntino omoko ye check up no na no anan or high blood pressure dada. Into no omudru ho no na eka no nti eka no na ese aka na koma na ne ho so nti no said na akola no so anya 8 months no ina doctor ne ka so said ne ho so na ese I say panic na eto omu ina so nti no the omu ye ne say what is Fodova omu chloroform yeah. And you know, chloroform completely because no more who say wanya high blood pressure on your Kenya, didn't you know? Chloroform completely no na doctor no or no person ko she say obetimi as e bi akola no to no na your choice and na person make either so mo be save akola no na so mo be save ne maame no. But me papa nso on ne ko hospital no na say at least no so on ne ba nti say mo bisa no say oh decision when you eba be take because oyere no after check up ni hu so onyo okay kra. But omo me papa mane no omo take his decision to omo chloroform no completely no omo yi akola no na che say one sorry biem nti no na che say I say omo take bad decision bi nti che no omo ko bo me papa mane say yeah we ni say no why disappointed no no ka say yeah but me say me won kola mi nsa dada nti sanka mu save me yere maame a me yere amene na ebo bra no ohu anka kola de ebetimi asan obi but akola nso de so no ye innocent
innocent
now no na akola nso no nyam starting na bra body I believe say a good say ono nso no be nya sa chance no enti no na ye sad but ade ba ko ami no mani ji ho ne say at least no I to say ono free mo no she was replaced by my sister enti no ye hu say life foforo asa ba ye busua mu the man no din mom ne say na me 13 years na say me na me be ya maame ewe busua ne mu na me wo nua boy me nua boy no so no 5 years na fe no wanya 5 years me nua kitwa ya wo no foforo into no eno no na ebe ye din because afa na wo be hwe fie de yo but that time so no me so dada na me 13 and I so me ba broche no for me nya hu me left and right just 2 months pe me a new country and I me ba yes me ba be hu me maame no I had to say a chance no so Ephraim Santino now I was very disappointed and I go school so cry na want to me nya sa concentration so oba fie be ya de na dentino na ya tough just say yeah single parent or no ye be man no mema so ne efia de yo bebre no omo hia omo yero no mo omo be boa ne ade ntina me papa so de na ye very hard on him na onhu de onye ntino kakra me so metimi aya me hwe me nua no me ye during the day no nurses for no omo ba e be hwe akola no me pon school ana me drufia na ma take over na omo akọ Inti no nkaka kra na nyame adom me papa ware oba hufra ono so no ebe take over but in general no so we lose parent as a young age sa no a e crash one kasa akola no especially no say o parent no na ye role model I to say ono na so unsa o kire o se fa until no all of a sudden so we lose sa o guideline no as a road driver na lose with navigation you feel lost
yes
now who left and right sadia no grano etime e man kola be break grano omo life etime shattered shattered their life become shattered we say na kola no ya dey o school grano afede because ne mama aka baby ntino na afede ni school aye basa na brabo aye basa but nyame adom say no affecting me too much and of course Yankopon so no yes say so nim say obetimi handle situation and no man at all intino I believe I was one of them one I could manage the whole situation then I am glad even though na easy there we go school cry to the bia na woda because say if you unu akademi akatwa no na edura na jo na
wow
I know when I do and then I only cheese at 2 o'clock 3 o'clock me so that time na me santino me na jo me go school no mo chira de na me dasa because man na intino esa na e top Emma enkola no a omu ni both parents no very difficult and I had situations and I'm now for eba be boa me omu ye cleaning boa me aduane yemu ni ade ntino yeah na aka wo na papa na wona fofo ne onyame ntino but by the grace of God no nkaka kra yetimi yes
yo Mrs. Salote, be patched, the UBC, na Adam Patchon come commercial break. So be some man and I say, Obi say making any contribution, and now say, Obi question be a kind of how.
Yeah, I think that you have some people that want to make contribution also to ask questions. So let me take 1 or 2 people. After that, you go to commercial break. Brother Michael and Sister Gifty, thank you very much to share your story with us. Auntie Ajua Lizzie, if I'm mistaken, from UK, please, can you put your microphone on and ask your question or do contribution, please?
Oh, okay.
Kasa biya wani bache wo kasa biya wani obetimi aka ma ya bache.
Yo, me pacho me kachi na.
Auntie Gifty, please. Auntie Gifty, try to translate to for our
Michael.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Yo, me pacho. Kasa me kasa me ka ewo nkwala na sam ho na omo me yenu nyina ya nkwala menim wo mu.
Wow.
Na Auntie Eva nso ye me cousin. Na me wo Holland that time no mu nyina no mu susa. Me na me de Michael papa eba Pentecost sorry.
Wow. Na
me ni Eva tonyom ewo sorry Pentecost. Me koye adwuma wo Philips. Na me ye cleaning wo ho. Na me hu ne papa. Ohu me no hu se me ye Ghana ni. Obepe masam na me so ye ma break me to anwum wo ho santi obepe masam. Enti na oka story ya boy kan ye no ma me papa ne kan story ni nyina kire me. Ana me tu no foka kire ne se ade ebetimi aboa ne se omra asori. Na difficult man no pa se obeba Ghana asori. Ba me ne kasa ya ma oba Pentecost asori. Ti Michael me hunu na oye kitwa. Na ne papa yobi a oye very humble man pa. Said the who say Michael ye quiet na sa na ne papa ne ti. All the time be hunu na opesere na nwom opepa ye apam self for wagina tu nyina ayekwa.
Wow.
E san say na the offer mu a wangu no na office Nyankopon na aboa na ama na anya dai enwu ti papa no na minimu na kopon say owo ni nua ketewa no nyina mekọ ehonomo na gift nso tamo mo de ne ba ye nyina no na because of say Eva kuno no na ne uncle na friend say gifty papa no ntino na ekofie ho ne papa nso yobi o ye humble na ne maame nso no onfa no nyame so mu ni agro na ye fe no Dickness Beatrice na omo yobi a omo peni pasem na me ne Eva na erezi youth for na omo ewo Pentecost sorry no ne enwom to no kakra kopum se maame no ano so kwawo a gift bedu for I think say the 2 months said the work no obedu ya fisa maame no so ye dey e ka mu no na me da Nyankopon so asese enkola ni meyenu nyina no we papa ewu we so maame ewu na Nyankopon so anam so ama enkola we se no so atimi aware na kese Nyankopon de ope e na oye dey oye enti no kakra me ka kire mu se Nyankopon hye mo den de nyame pe e na oye si Yesu asem ya no onim se mo betimi asoa e na ode maamu enti de me ka kire mu se Nyankopon no wonka mo ho na se de mu nyina mo maame mu ya Kristofo no papa mo ya Kristofo no unsua sa na Awurade mfa mo nkwa akiri amen madam asi.
Wow. Ajwa na misha bibiri. Eda pa obi ama na nsaso.
Obi ama nsaso de ba so bi a se de anti wo kan no. So we person busa bia na obetimi abusa. Aha. Na obi so sa experience ni bi so a obetimi ni a share. But question me about obi person busa brother Mike. Brother Mike, I have some question for you. Someone want to know that after the doctors make the mistake, what did you do to the doctors?
That's a very good question. That's something my dad and my mom were also really thinking about. What can we do? Because we all knew the fault was with the doctors. And my dad wanted to literally sue the doctors. The only problem was that the Doctors Society protects doctors. So to go after it was going to be a very expensive law case. And the question was indeed like, is it worth it to go after a doctor like that, you know, to really prove all his mistakes and steps and to sue it. So in the end, we didn't walk that path. We just let it go and pray that God will grant us a long life. And what I also heard from my mom is that in the end, in these last months before he died, my dad did voice out one regret, and that was that when the insurance company said he has to do operations in Holland, and the doctors said it's fine, they can wait, it's not urgent. He wished he would have just gone to Belgium and do the operations there and faced the cost, because he said he would have preferred to live with the debt and be there for his family than the situation he is in now, where there's a chance that he will leave his family too soon. So we didn't chase the doctors, because that will be a path that will be it will only give more heartache and stress and expenses. We just prayed and hoped that after all these mistakes, we will still have a long life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Today we have our bishop, our elder Andrews, and no Baba Johnny. You know, maybe as I'm calm, Jim Accra, now and then so a bow advertising. But and then do I say a nipper me and some of Mr. Suntino? I think that from Mono, we are not out the advert of Coachemu. Now, after that, you go to Auntie Eva. And can you take over from here? And Andrew.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. My story.
Changing lives.
My story.
Changing lives.
Yeah, changing lives for the better. Yo, yeah, the more say, and we are no Minister will be asking that's why joining my story programming.
Amen.
So, oh, story.
Life, mom.
Yeah. O person what they was sem beda yen ye buse bisa won sem said the interested in but Mike story yeah. E pa cho number ye dawo fo yisu ye ma remfi so betra to ho. Ye 04-876-13659 Frederick anase host no. Na friend kokoro guys hey me was say am person bi tudwa na manfo etie makosem. Afa enam so ebe ma obi ayi shira. Assembly safwa and a be assembly pono. Into what assembly a on can shed. Fabra needing a yen chen and fe. Ha. Na me kawa can for catch or say, you probably brave if you hear Nicodemusly. One person must sponsor my story, Jimmy D. Since you're bunker for Edmund who de Roma won, you knew be at a cook. To the sense, you for the or dog, a castle, you can see a boamo. Also, to sad up as all boa my story, Jimmy D. Photo that was skin and screenshot to her. What a 10-year 20. The ability to be a Sabeka, Nedia support my story, Juma, the Netmiacoso. Ye boy, Yahu. Ye need to see a packet here through behind and so quantan the FM, Penny said the day, jet and nay, Yamin Shroud, so Bebois. Good. Now may account for Minia be a Juma Mount. Nejman, dear, in fact, a Kiko, a travel and consultancy. A real boy you to cry for Ghana. With the awful say, last minute ticket now, pa, for a number no huno, or pay cheap ticket amount. Oh, Mr. Summertime, the woman prices now no shit. Now, so for an unqua dear. Ha, or wow, no your ticket. That from Boko. When in Brown was no, none of Ghana. And I will call on your man so Dawson, so a man how Fred of a Dwamanqua. Aha, and never be a person you could be no, sat a boxer. Baba pack bi bia kama wani mra ahoso no Ghana obusan fo so be esabeka o magina ho twa salifu asende abro mo say yes enema no abedru asomdue mu Yakuya diem, Queenie Cargo, and a dear chrono. But one was see me jama, Mama Eva, not to my dear Shama, and yet Yakuya diem, now all prepare a story for the next one. Yamin Shroud send with you. Amen. Yakoso, Mama for your call.
Amen. Eda, na misha pa. Hello, Mr. Alote.
Auntie Van Pacho, and Nipa me and Sapido Monsantino, showing the film for the so we
Me pacho you.
Mama Nana Amaya Boa, Nana Amaya Boa, Pacho Casamaya.
Eda me that's it. Aja uni abansu ni.
Eh,
Enye ize. Matie can your sister a story no any new story ni nyina. Na say o ma bre yi. Na so onyame no pe na oye. Na Bible says enko mutimi enyina no a anka nyame ko amfa emehye wo. Ombetimi agina mu nti na onyame so ema ne ba saa because on dey say ade nyina mu yemfa sedanye den yemfa ma no. Nti media mafutio kakra me so me de mema me sister ne hokafo se ne omotimi agina besi samre no. Ye nyina ye de nkotorie ebegu fo mama om se Awurade ema samre omienu adi ahia no. Oma empuntuo emra omabrabom ene ni nuanom omaka omaka na ho no. Awurade emfa ne kane akese no ento om so na omom so enyina yie. Oma empuntu akese emra omabrabom awale ni nso kwa enye de ensin first no. Yes, that's Awurade enye ne saa ma wom because oma bre yie. Then so Onyankopon no enema mu nyina no asedanko ana yesi yede ma no. Nti me sister no ye make a chen no say onye ne ho so obedo ne kunu so yie na ne kunu so ado ne yie. Omumie no atimi aka bom no matimi ahwe omunuanom aka no aka ho na enema nyina ye den atimi ayeyi edi ama wo. Fi se oni se odo nka ho a enye yi. Bibia ne odo. Se onya odo dia utimi kọ wanim edu etire. Nti eno na mebusa ma no se Awurade ema no ahoɔden na onfa nko okon ekono so. Awurade na ankasa nye ne tata. Awurade na ankasa emo na chiri dom. Awurade na ankasa ma ne nyansa a ode ba Solomon no. Awurade ma ne bi. Ono ne hokafo ne nyina. Na de ombeye bia no enko nanim emfa ma wo. Bia mu no onyame ne boafo. Onyame na betimi aye ama wo. Ekono omugina no na emu odin. Enso ni nyina mu no Asafu Yehowa wakasa. Onyame okasa obi ntimi nkasa bi. Onyame oya obi ntimi nye bi. Ono no oya onyame a oyo odimafo. Ono no eto de ade a otimi ye. Enti se baby omu gina bia no omu mpagya omani hwa Asafu Yehowa. Se obo omu hu ban abesi saa mre mu. Na omu da so tiase ne abusua ne nyina no. Eso mu gidi onyame mu se de aka nyina nso. Onyame de ba bedomo. Awurade ma awale no mu enye krabehwe. Awurade ma awale no enye hwam. Awurade fa ne munkum kese no onfa nkata busua ne nyina.
Amen.
Na me se dia ma no sister. Awurade ni ma. Ewo Yesu de.
How anti-gifting you will translate every single word to your husband because the most credit goes to your husband. So Mama say love him. So if he say that too, so that Brother Michael know that we advise you to love Brother Michael very, very well. So
I try to translate almost everything.
But for you ask Andrew to do it so that you can go deeper to Brother Michael.
Eda.
Mama.
Ya odomu do nti e dono odo a o ma inkin komu yi. Se wa mu.
Amisha pa.
O ma inkin kom. Eno a na ebusa e wo nyame nsem enso de ama o. Se Awurade ntanachi. O mo na chiri do.
Amen.
Yes ye tanachi won paibo. What? Dono ne nkosi awie na beboa. Nyame nka. Nye butia ni. Amen.
Yeah, that's bebre. Amen.
Anti va frère Mama Dina, on s'en va dans frère preko.
Okay. Mama Dina.
Amen.
Mama di mama.
Ibasto.
Yo, mama,
my story.
Changing lives.
Easter gift in brother Michael. Suffer na michia mu nyina.
Yo, yeah,
Omu ware no and I'm anti sumi kobi. Na efe na nika paso. Omu mi nyina so omu ye humble person, omu bra omu wase. Na omu sia ware sa na nyame hira omu. Asem kakra me person make am say. The story na sister gift share the brother Michael share no. Enye easy say. In fact, omu share story nyina me ni atata say. Ufri Ghana aba na 2 months so ma me na ahumete na brother Mark so ne papa so afri wa bra ne ma me kura baby 3 years there's a story ne enye easy kura na so wo ma me wu wo mo fra brema everything so betima make life na said na gift ikano okosu be se okosu te se nyanya me na boa no a nka ba bia wadu wanu nti sa akwan ya gift afa te sa bibia brabom no wo make attempt so wo be ya nyame so be boa mo waye na me pese me sabu so mo se na we ma me awu na we papa awu na ye mo bom mo ware ya na
That's a very good question.
We papa we na ye mo po so mo be sia na se mo kire ma se kakra.
Okay, that's very good. That's a very interesting question.
Gifty, but you question now.
Okay, hold on. Let the brother Michael answer first because he's the one who proposed. So, brother Michael, I think it's the gift teacher. Answer first.
Man is the head of the family.
Yeah.
So please answer this question for us.
That's a very nice question to ask. But no, there are many other reasons why I wanted Gifty to be my wife. And one of the main reasons is that I saw how good she could take care of her home. And I wanted those qualities in a woman. And us losing a parent only made it possible to understand each other better. Like when we are, let's say, down or we are not feeling well, we can relate to each other's pain. And I think that made our relationship even stronger and more solid. So it helped to build our relationship, but the qualities in Gifty are the reasons why I chose to marry her.
Wow. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Auntie, almost the same question I Auntie gives you so answer.
Okay. Mrs. Saloti, if I talk about I had the house mouth. So I said, me bacha mama mbra kakra said na Michael as a quality. The bacha so you youth now na se wo ma metre wa do ya na say Gifty akwa no wa bre. And the masha me ho so say masha me ho so pa. And that Gifty be do and just said 2 months. And that would not exactly 2 months. One day grandpa na ma free. Na kwa 13 years so no ye npan ono no ye we ono no hwe baby. Just say at the same time or the papa, it is our qualities now of firm. And not Michael who ya, Miss Salot who ya, or the warrior no, because ye can say and your force or buy ya be your four. Because me mean Isabella Bram, the Shabrana or bra, me free hope or nephew or say, me buana mana share baby no. To me by Isabella be 2 months and I'm free feel. Now Kola we be cry 12 now 9. No I solid 5 o'clock. Or ye diane, or be prepare ne papa meal, or baby everything. It's all your youth now. That's all my mates now do ya. A woman say book ni here. Also, when I do you, but at the same time, no, was so I am well educated. Te pam cho youth na mo ha no se mo ma make sure ma de ga mesrem mo. Orokwa de se bi we nya ma mi o. We nya ma mi bi ama na ankyere no. Kakra na o nya no Ghana no. Eno na wo de ani bre ne ade a watimi ahwa akopom se Michael Wale na o tie no free ne papa mo ho a oyi ni free feel. Te mesrem mo youth for no so ye kan se mo tie ya o se qualities na aka se obetimi take care of home. No pa ni the main way na no hu ye. Timpa cho Mrs. Alote, timpa cho mani.
To answer the same question, no, say me dasi bebre. Na me pese me go too much details, but me ankasa de who say young girls no omo wa abrochi ankasa no, especially omo cry a wo mo ha na so omo free Ghana ba no. I say Bema bia or besio, omo pe bia no omo accept it. But obanso there, so what the standards be at to a boso, and you carry yourself well as a woman. As no mema omo ba wa brabo. You know, me no na important say se me ni hua will Michael be capable enough to take care of my children? Will he be a good leader? Will he be able to teach them right? Because at dear young girls be brain pay attention. No, yeah, was me pay eduma ben or ya crano inform ho. But as a so who so Bama no accepting or vision or life mo. Then in the next coming years, obet me value ben obet me the amount as a young girl. Because and yeah, sorry, now go worry na fe the idea better no. Bema no, yeah, on to me add any value to your life. It is a bema no crown to me more or more ma. Inti no for you to no crown no so no almost coming up no. So who ba no what did BBC when you said this is the kind of man I want now. Obo humpa ya nyankopon so tie e de sa o bema no. Ebrel. Our life, you know, there are certain things that made me who or Michael Mono. Fine. Now, only my dear parents, you know, me so no na me say like me person boa me me suku komo bema obetwinye dey because na before na me ni omu na no omu take school ni omu education serious. Na me want to say me ni omu me di omu echi bebre a omu moa me. Na me ma say me ade but edu time I say fa ye book a enfo bia ho. Into na me be ma ono no education na important man no obetumi so aboa me ma bra bo mama makọ enim. Into no me hu no. Na of course na me din kan hu ma bebre but na me say Debbie ono na oye bema obetumi add value to my life. I obetumi giving my children good example. I give you good leadership. Essence what chromo. Yes so omunya to be successful in life. Into a very important young girls know almost bano. A man has to have a vision in life before you accept to even go into marriage. Oh, and when you also I'm not talking about money, but as a soul to me who said, will he add value to my life? What can he do for me and my children? Will he give me security? Does he have vision? Any do as who ben a one nimwa waiting ya boa me and me ma because young girls are my but no that's questions or not. And sana the best one will be no more dinechi. And also no war by no be who so our anymore. Improve that. And to me some be me who Michael Moore and ma many jane who are now a person and it's now.
That means so far.
Dear, good.
That means so. You make a right choice.
Antiba, Mama Nana Kunadu Amane Sasubi, my friend.
Me pacho you. Auntie Nana Kunadu.
Yeah,
me pacho you. Auntie Nana Kunadu.
Mame.
Me pacho so Mike na my na.
Also Casa Pacho.
My story.
Changing life.
And the Jamie will feel in a mabasun. The Yankopon was say, or Pempenso, dear Bedru. I met see gift and brother Michael, and so a story, and it was so touching. Enti deɛ meka nyinaa ne sɛ Onyankopɔn deɛ ɔno na ɔwɔ hɔ ma yɛn daa ne daa nyinaa na ɔsɛ wode wo ho to no so a w'anim remmere ngu ase da. Kakra metumi aka ne sɛ ɛnyɛ easy saa sɛ wo maame bɛfiri mu sɛbisɛbi wo ne wo maame antena na wobɛhu wo maame 2 months later na wo maame is 2 months na wo maame atumi afiri mu at the age of 13 wasa akɔyɛ ba panyine mpanimfoɔ so yɛ panyine adwie te sɛ ɛnyɛ easy saa nti no yɛda Nyankopɔn ase meda Nyame ase ma mo mmienu nyinaa mo abrabɔ ɛnyɛ easy but na me nua baako no bɛka sɛ gift ayɛ lucky say brother Michael enya no but brother Michael also why you lucky papa into the message when he says so gift mu ye papa because at the age of 13 ya o maame ewu wa beye yire wa beye ba panyin wa beye abusua ti na watimi no papa che say enye easy enti aware bia ni honom a asemu ni mu enti no oye bibia emfumso bata nipa ho se oye bibia na wo de wani ato sa na ma we nyina se wanya yede wanya nua ba wanya abusua je se wanya obi bia including wo makro wo ne wo mo bewo wo mo said the Bible ka say oba on submitting itself from money me say me share gift here me kai say adwoa can gift here so much me bebre which is no it was so touching so I'm glad they say I'll meet her today. I just see her face on the this thing and I was so happy and enye easy it's brother Michael they make can say yeah ma said you ukuta gift to say koshia no ono or submit it because I can see say or brand ho ase gift obebre ho ase e de ama wukuno mumie no nyina mo hu no say enani ho e na eje ni ho because metimi aka ne say people na Michael de ni papa no people na no Michael onyine kakra but gift de 13 years enye easy but ni nyina no nyame odo wa bedrum pempensuwe a brother Michael de me ka mesere kakra ne say said you was so ni mo no so ni mo ti se kosua na ono so cherish you as a husband as a brother as a friend as a whole household as a keeper just say BBM na mo mampaibo said you mo mampaibo di ka mo mampaibo intime mo because Bible says affliction will not repeat himself again sebeya mosono mo makodru dan pempenso na mo mubi no entime enkonkotomo nti de message ne mo manyankopon asem no entime mo mampaibo they say together we are one but say mo anye together and any little thing no enemy can get inside na obetimi destroy something na de mo de shase no ni nyina no abeye kwa nti de mesre onyame ho de ne se onyame nka mo ho na omboa mo na onkepo mo so the end of the life no mumie no nyina no into mo end of my life na emom no de esi o mumie no mo abrabo no emanyame mmabi nto mo mmabia na mo ntimi resi mo ma enkodru to the end a omo nso betimi akasa ye maame ne ye papa ebre omo bre ye de ya ambre bi na emom no omo maame ene omo papa mesre nyame se mamo ma enye mamo mo nsie mo ma na se mamo nja mo ma ho se de mo parents eye ekoye no enye omo wish but yes nyame se sa affliction will not happen again to both of you onyame nka mo ho na onhye mo ma na omma mo ye kodro honhom sebe ya mo so no mo betimi ama mo ma eni age until that can don come nyame beto ne safrem wo mo nkokra bre mo de metimi akakakra nyina eno no nyame nka mo ho pa
Amen. Nana, nyame nhyira pa.
Nyame nhyira.
Eda, me pacho bi amanesa so na.
Pacho obi amanesa so enne se de ekọ no ye digi pa se e program na ekosa eto bi ma so a se na we invite obi na apaso maye e da ndrum pacho se se we available no bo ho a ye be se wo no translate ma brother Markie se de be ya obi ba kan yi se obi kan ho asema ya na kan e den it no I think say try say we available nkwa dia try to seminar there ye ma make isi na brother Markie on to say enya gift na e ka kire na mom no from outside no e na o ka kire no
Ooh, I missed some just inside this one. So let's pick the next one, please.
Okay. We are going to take Mame. But the Mame is our swa. Obet Maswa Kasame Pacho.
You, my story.
Changing lives.
You, my story painful. I mean, shop of you made no. Just say, I hope Nensono. Yame Ekayeho. And my friend stories no, Omi Nina, na yenim, ye cosina. Na arehuye. Ma mene papa no, Omi Nina Fimono, ye entovi ha. Just say, enye easy, said the encolano air canon, especially gifty. Or bread papa colano. I make kaisa mammy fimu. Me ankasa make us 1 week. I mean, to me, not a mamma ni enquida because quite fast so by no. And I read when I home say, sa a colake to aba. What be 2 months, pepe, man, mamma, air co. Young who the air tea, mamma nephew, Tina, a idea na I read who ye. Then so, ye yame pe and oh yes, said ye na ye knew no. Yame, ni nature no yame was sending when yam. Nti e dia seda be menyame na ene gifti wakasa mamani agi papa wakasa mehu se akola no onimnyansa nyansafo na yesre nyame hira ne bambo so ato o maware nso se eni wo machi na enka o mo ho so na ne o mu ye bia enwie peye nti mi kasa kase kakra bi e kase ye kan sem na areho betimi a chechim bebre because me ni nyina no esi enim areho nti gifty nyame hia wo ura na menka mo ho pa why nti de bidim besia no da wase bye bye
Auntie nyame hia pa eda pa cho be ma nesa so
Debbie.
What Mama just said is, I think she knows both of you right from Eindhoven, and so I wait who Alice King. Oh, she knows how everything went, and then how hectic the story is all about, especially for you, Gifty, because that time you're very, very young. But all the same, we give all the thanks to God because He knows what's best. And as long as both of you has found each other, it's our prayer that you keep each other through it all. May God protect you all and always. Amen.
Amen. Nyame hia pa e beto your program no so it's as a gift is that the omu kan dia plan wa bre me hu di se ya na mani age na de bia na me ka se de nyame otimi ye ni ye wrade otimi me hu abra de bia na mani age cause me hwe bra wa bebre pa na nyame ahye na me hunyam omo tese omo wedding day de em se na esan ka munyina mu tese ka munyani na mo behwe ade nyame ye omo engagement omo wedding tese utimi se tese Mike here na for ya brofo nkwanti best man for them say na brofo nkwa na wo hwe dom nyame wa ye bi pa mi tese mi hu se ya na mi hu de menka nyame wa shapla na nimunyam nya gift wa konkuden na nyame tese wo de abasobo abotire kese no wo de abo ama unua no nyina so flow full steps. Okay, back to the program. Mr. Alete.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the program. I want to ask you this question. What are the difficulties you and your family you went through after your dad passed away?
Yeah, the difficulties were really a lot. I will start with, let's say, as a family side. One, it's the little child. It was really tough to see her suffer. You know, she didn't understand what was going on. I can remember at some point because although she doesn't read time, but you can feel it that, hey, there was another man in this house and it's no more there. So I could see this little child looking at me and suddenly changing her attitude towards me. And that's my little sister. Like, it's not you I want to see, you know. And I remember it really hurts me because I want to play with my sister, I want to be with her, but she wouldn't want me because I wasn't the other man she wanted to see at that point. And that is, yeah, it was tough on her. To see how tough it was on her was heartbreaking. And secondly, also, yeah, in the beginning, yeah, financially, like I said, my dad was a breadwinner. My mom was mostly taking care of my little sister. And yeah, at some point, let's say the first month, we didn't know financially how we were going to cope. I remember we had to pay the rent, but my dad's salary entered his bank account. The moment he died, the banks closed the account. So we had to like go to the bank and ask the bank to transfer the money, but they were like, no, it's within the bank and the bank account is closed. And we had to like at least help us pay our rent because we need to pay the bills. And yeah, the bank had to like negotiate with other people within the firm. And after a while, they finally agreed to like pay specific bills out of the money that was in my dad's account, because it was standard procedure. The moment someone passed, they locked the account, and all other processes has to be finalized before anything will be released. So financially, it was also a huge uncertain period. And it took really like maybe I think maybe 2 to 3 months before we could settle in. We understood what was going to happen. How the finances will still be okay and all these things. And at the same time too, I was still schooling. And life, that's hard to say, but life goes on. And the school, I knew my situation, and they said, because the moment my dad passed was actually also my exam period of the third semester, third term. So the school agreed, like, okay, I should skip those exams and just focus on myself, my family. And when we were going to the last exam period too, I was not capable of writing all my exams. So the school was also like considering like, okay, maybe we should repeat you for that year, because I was in my fourth VWO going to 5 VWO. And yeah, it was, yeah, we disagreed because we're like, yeah, you can understand the circumstances. My grades were good. It's just I missed out those exams. And after renegotiating with the school together with my mom, the school agreed that, okay, we will let you go to the next class only if you pass your exams in that summer. And so I had like 2 months to like focus on my school in order to pass the exams to go with the rest of my classmates to the next class. So it was suddenly like, okay, with all the pain and the trauma, like, okay, I need to focus back on school, because that is one thing my dad always told me: no matter what, you should focus, you should try to complete your education. And so it was like I had to turn on a switch in order to get back to get back to normal life. So it's not easy, and it was one of the struggles I faced during that period.
Okay.
Also every time my friends too were also they also want to talk about it, like, okay, how are you feeling? So it felt like there was more attention towards my feelings, and it's hard in that period to discuss what's going on with you. So I became more teruggetrokken, became more silent. I stayed more home. Most of the time, I didn't meet with friends anymore. So my whole life just changed. And yeah, it was not easy. Yeah.
Okay. So is it difficult to raise by a single parent or both parents?
It's if I look at how my mom went through it, I'm impressed she was able to manage this. It was really tough on her. The pain of the loss plus the child that needs attention. I understood the situation because I can say I was 16 years old at that point. So indirectly, I agreed with my mom, like, Mom, focus on Michelle. She needs all the attention. Yeah. I can manage. I can manage. I know what I need to do. So I try to reduce the burden on my mom. Although my mom wants to be very involved, and she was very involved, and we had a really close bond, especially when I finished PWO, I went to university. Everything I did, I discussed with my mom. Like, hey, I think I want to do this education, I want to follow this education, I want to do this and this. You know, we communicated more, although these were most of the time the things that I did with my dad, because my dad was really on me when it comes to education. Like, hey, what are your plans for the future? What do you want to become? And sometimes he would joke around, like, if I'm not in the picture, how would you manage? And things like that. So it was my dad that was triggering me, challenging me, and that fell away. And I think indirectly I was trying to do the same, or have the same with my mom. And my mom did very well in that case. And I was really happy she was there for me when I needed her. And I also knew focus should be on Michelle. So I also tried to help her with, let's say, when there were letters coming from Belgium and Holland government and all these things. I tried to step in, like, okay, these are the things we need to do. We shouldn't forget this. I think these are let's say, forms we need to fill in. Has to go to the Belgian embassy because we still have Belgian nationality, and try to help each other because it's now just the three of us. So it's not easy for a single parent to raise kids, especially in a foreign country. It's not your country. You know, we are still Ghanaians. And
because you said that it's very difficult to raise, like a single parent to raise a child, please, can you take this opportunity to advise the couples for me, please?
Yeah. Well, what I want to say is that kids need parents as their role model. They look up to their father and their mother, and what it's instilled in them, that is what they will carry along for the rest of their life. And I was lucky in this sense that my dad was there till I was quite a grown teenager, 16 years. And I learned a lot of things from my dad that perhaps my mom would have not taught me because she's a different person. And it's so important that children can learn from both parents. So you have to stick together and try and have the best possible life future for your kids. You need to be a team together. So that is what I want to say to parents. It's not easy to be a single parent, and kids need both parents in their life in order to succeed in their goals. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Alute. Okay. Mrs. Alute, also difficulties. Dear Namu Abra Mami free mono unianum and now papa. They said then I'm fair one casa. Person can be a crash enough. That's what medians.
Yo, Medasi. I know dear No, may come from the beginning. No, mini aketwana na may share no that time. No, miankasa no akola aketwa ya wona fufuro me just 13 years me nim baby who knowledge bia into no na afi na obesua say the dware akola obebona diapers ni ade into no. Now for me, a little bit overwhelming. Say, yeah, just like that at my age, say mission akola hu nioma bebre sa. Ena eduane nso anana kakra na mi nya wo me nana ho nso no na enye bebre sa. Tunu na eduane yemu nso na fe na wo improvise wo try so mitimi nia we mi nim ye na de na wo sua free na fofo ho ne ade ntino. Nah, yeah, in the beginning, it is some kind of chaos, left and right because but idea boa men say it take just 1 year na me papa esan worry or bafufro until no eba mono na obe take over or share me nua ketwa no until no kakran so no nioma bebre ho a de eduane nuane ade amen so no besua ye ewo my stepmother home even though our arena anye successful there but yenzima for no ye ka say obi anu eduane ama wadi nko ade a wontumi ngina kwa ho enka no ho asembone da the little no a ochire me as a stepmother no misua a lot from her. Into no warrior na successful no a ono ni free warrior ni mo na it is a masan back to square one biem afi na me sound so akwa hwe menua no biem by that time no na menua Beatrice na okonya 8 years into no na afi de na na ni afia ono ankasa no onim ne left and right na identina de esese me focus ono. And say menu eduane me cleaning me go school abante near the na responsibilities so ya akola na wo go school e doson because afi na wo san be hwe fie wo nuano menketoa but me papa nkasa no they said no take a hanum for some time no na ba efie bills say Michael situation no no can't bills in the no dear no kasa no and no otumi eteki no sa part ni do no temi eteki control etimi hwe bibia so ye okay but me na fufuo mu we kwa no manya sa opportunity ne say omo kwa na me de omo echi because na me was our responsibility no untumi enko hwemu na wonto wadwe mu because onuanom echi but me who so say as school no na me come anim no na me hear more time metimi asua de but that time no na me nya because of a fear responsibility no into no ema school mo no so no ema me chemu kakra there are sometimes me delay wo me exams bu okra man try na say me san so ko trobio into no na there were a lot of setbacks but necessarily sansu anam san kwotro ne foforo because na me pese me ye na me pass it but in kakra no nyame adom bibia ekoyie na me na fofo mu omo so no omo try say omo be encourage me asori for say ba o kamo bi mama Lizzie ne ndi no nyame adom nkakra de obia timi ye ya o encourage me no no so eboa ye bebre nti no na ye dey mom but ye da nyame ase ba me papa no so tumi hu say na ye very hard say ne yira ka baby wakọ ware na sanye ye no hu mpo so on san try bi mu ana say be good for the children ana say nti no ni na ye decisions ana so no so make say would it be good for my children or not but nyame adom or pay attention more to yen or make sure say ye okay intino yeah it was tough but I believe in say nyame adom ne na fofo ne asori support intino yeah bibia ye okay
Yeah, Gifty. This is the person we use this opportunity. Because you will use for me also. Money, many papa, how value it is. Just one papa, one film. It may person also advise youth. Say almost Bible question do none with Jenny now. Our the person who taking this opportunity. So now what advise youth? Am I?
Yo, medasi bebre. And in general, no say the okay no Bible can't say do none with Jenny. But idea about no so are very important aside the Yankopon akano. Parents ewo nshirabi ewo almost so wakola no so when new money na one first abu na momo asan shira no unsan kan as akola nti no sa blessings no ewo awofo so no sa awofo no nya akomato yem ewo wakola no when they are happy with you na ubuo ma wangaza hu se de wakola no beye bia no ekoso nti no Bible no can't just like that say do not reason ewe chirenti a Bible cancer esan say wudi omwania bi wudi onane wejania bibia koten so amount as akola de won sabe de wankasa no de wudi won sabe can be and you become victorious as a child. And you know very important say obia wawo na oma some kind of guidance, you will not lose that respect for that person. Immediately you lose that respect, you can also lose your soul. And you know important say so we youth now but you are growing up and make sure say wano enfo o mame ana papa de biarada. Who say na make asem sesi ano make about my stepmother say aware na anye ye but mean jina baby enka no ho asem bone da esa so bi a wonre aduane ama wadi yanzem afo no ye wosa concept ni so bi a wonre aduane ama wadi de won jina kwa ho enka no ho asem bone da bi anu no waya o mame da and she was an example to you you know obia no so we didn't need the man asa kola now we need the man no so we say advice bia na parents no owo bia no or the man bia we na o yo enko ho enye good idea. I think say we say parents no so do mo akoma so they will make sure say you will never make mistakes in life. Bibia no awo akola no ye bia no they try to help you, guide you in the right way. Say one for so need na ama parent we go say the oye bia na wato na dim on kan wasem say parent en kan wasem biem as akola who say o problem who say wo life en ko yeda so oja wo life ma o pe who say wa akola no wo problem because me am sure won sign kan de biada because one fa need dia ama no nti no say youth wono mutie me am try say so mo parents say problems krana try to resolve it with them, go back to them, say sorry to them, try to resolve it with them. Na show must be humble. Na omo efutu pa bia no so omo betimi dia mamwa ebe mamwa bra boy si no omo so omo de be ma na nhira bia so wo mu nsem no omo de be ma. I believe say kakra no a meneme papa etina ye no otumi de san shira na maame ontumi engina be bia enka so meba no wan mume de biara da esan se ni dia me de man nti ena second day no very tough say o maame and o papa ebeka baby and you can go about life very easy into mo maame na mo papa ti ase no your friend say you can say hina bane de ne papa ti ase wow maame na papa ti ase no be grateful to God okwa na dubia bunko to je ka say rade me da wase say me maame ne papa ti ase isn't say ye no ye breye very tough me baba ye me wedding say na me nyo bi kura na metimi and then I come atare ho asem and na take decision because there was no mother. Into you value somebody like that in your life. Into So who mama now or papa now would they would take it for granted? Share or dana sebita fresh one sorry. Ebe kan wakoma say me hu yanka na kechire. Me hu yanka so nkwasi afo neka.
Of course.
And you know, I hope say when you still have your mom and dad, right now there is time, they make sure say you right your wrongs. Make sure you right your wrongs. So when you more problem cry no, make sure so when you solve that problem. No more fast guidance and mouth. Buadie, be humble. Because me and no life more is a blessing. Because who lose back who now lose you way. And you don't want to be in our situation. Say, oh, mommy, we lose mommy and now papa now who left and right. Especially say, Bakupa na na so won sa school mo ono no wo ho na nkola no mo ko football. O ko football, o papa na di we chi afedi oni hobium. What will you feel? You need to be grateful to God. Say both of the parents are there and value them, because once they are no more, you cannot go back. So that is my advice. But for a single parent, they say, oh, and they want to make your. But I pray, say, oh, single parents, may they say opportunity way. Ebe can say, Yankupon, Emma holding. No one to me and show but because easy. Because said na Michael like can say, ne papa, no, or your breadwinner, or no. Okay, baby, none of my person to free Holland, the press and call back because no name left and right. Internet to me is shocking. All of a sudden, Emma Wankasa. Internet is very important to say. Ulusu bia like who are we a single parent no be shedding na Nyankopon be ma wa hoden. But ade ba ko no nso are very important. I mean who say na Michael no na ni parents lack e was ade ni say fine me no me ma me na ka baby but no ne papa na ka baby advice I made me at the map two parents almost at this moment and they say so no yet tia that's why a housewife grana making sure so be children be bia no a ye said the utuya bells said the letters ba said the fill forms said the movie left because obi wo ho a se ni kunu ni ho a ontumi nye mu bia because on tikasa on him the left and right into no na panic at all ba so se be ma na ni ho a into make sure so ba no be ma na independent enough so that when you are no more no oba na panic here obe ho na left and right because some mistakes Africa for near tie because oba na housewife aye ka so obe ma no me amaye bibia but who ni ho a obetimi aye bibia obetimi ahwewachi into chire no Inka ganga kranti Michael say no bibio ye bia no a meme nka ho bi no me pese me hu because at the end of the day man hu a be a problem make sure say obe chire wo yere wo kunu bibia wo ye bia no eduane kra no se mimi ni ho akakra metimi a chire no me chire no e ma no because e china bi me dana man sori obe ye den into no de wo nim no chire wo kunu de wo kunu su nim no chire no help them to be independent. Would they be able to take care of the children and take over? Into Africa, for I believe so we should do that too. Very, very, very important. So I believe so. Yeah, that is my advice.
Wow. Bravo. You are getting a lot of applause. But I was meaning how they are your 10 minutes. We are going to continue this program next week because next we are going to go details about the education. We are going to
it's okay for you, Mr. Lotte, because we are going to continue the program next week.
Okay. It must be okay. It must be okay.
It must be okay. Yeah. So we have some questions here, and also for the audience, if you have contribution or maybe you have been experienced some this situation in your lifetime, you can share with us. We have Auntie Lizzie. Is Lizzie on the line from UK again? Auntie Lizzie.
Yo, where they are for time when you know. Make kind of short kakra. me advice back one meka ansa na mebusa no question back one e de be wie ne say advice I so meka for parent no a ye nso ye ho na obi wo ho no mo a ono nso no e bia ni kunu awu ana say ne yiri nso awu ono so tete ne ma but sometimes ya na ye ma no nyinyini a ye de emotional no nso come too much say mi kunu awu ntimi ya na matete me ma saa nti no ba na ekwa ware mu a wo de saa pains no nso kɔ wo ba ware mu enti no Nyankopɔn ne da na sɛ saa parent no anhwɛ saa no ma no nyina ma omoma no kwan ma omo ware enti yɛn so parent na ye wo so obi wo ha ni kunu awu obi wo nso a ne yere nso enti ase nti sɛ wo ba nso duru empempen so wa ware mu a emfa pains na wakomu no enkɔ wo ba na ware mu ana say especially yene maamefo a na papafo no or the nebakura tu kwan a because of the wakom na or yes new parent nti no or person or yes when ya medo ba ya medo ba dia en ya magi usika ansa na ebi abakọ aware ansa na wakọ nti no na eno nso no bohu sa afede odo na ewo mumu mienu ntamo na oba na afede brebebrebe na wabre wo ba no ho nyina no oba no nkwa aware mu no na afe wodo na wo expect say masha me ba wa bra na me yes new parent no menya sa wodo no ama me ba wa na ware mu no na wonsa ankeka enti advice ameso be ma parent na ba ko ni ho na ba ko arezi ne ba na wokwa ware mu no say me yemfa nko ye ma ware mu de yakomu ana say de yakunu de aye enti no ye fi say ye ba nso kwa ware mu asa na ye pese ye ma nso enye wa ware mu no afi nso de last ye pese me busa gift ni kunu say ada omo ya wedding no na omoto omani a we papa ni ho na we nso maami ni ho no wedding ni mu no e de pa na ofili ye kama na o ware na o hwa ne maami eni ho na we nso hwa ne papa ni ho omo wedding day no ofili say
Wow. Wow.
Please, Miss Charlotte, are you going to answer this question for us or your wife?
Yeah, okay, I will answer. What? Oh, yeah. I think me feel some. I felt some gap was missing. I felt BB was lost because now I was like me man know what hanker, and you know, like because everybody knows the concept, the mother of the bride, but not me need the mother of the bride, and you know. It giving me some sadness to be say, oh, me mama wa hanka. Obe take over. Me mama wa hanka, ojina mechi twa pictures, and me mama wa hanka, me so some me ho cry. You know, it was sad. I was sad for a moment. I thought about it for a moment, but there is shame in crying, no. Let's say, Nyankopon edin kunim, and no shame in crying. And you know, it. A while I make say, Gifty, you have a lot to be grateful for. And you know, a hope I was moved, sadness, you know, a free me, and then the joy took over. Say, BBH, you know, Nyankopon ashemeni mo, you know, I thought about it, Mom. I felt the sadness for a bit, but the joy took over. Because now me share me benkum ni me new farm say Nyankopon de kunim. So I was happy again. And you know, I don't know how you felt. Did you think about your dad during our wedding day?
It hit me more in our preparations towards our wedding day, because there are things that you will want to do with your dad. You know, like let's say for the tradition, okay, when you are going to do the knocking, you have the tradition says you go with your dad. And that was also to me like I miss my dad at that moment. And there was another what was it? I forgot the name. When we had to also
The
tradition marriage itself. When before I had to find a replacement for my dad, and I forgot the name of that.
When you were looking for a linguist?
No, not linguist. before my uncle came from Hungary.
The person that was supposed to stand up to be your dad.
Yeah, because at some point in the whole preparation, I had to look for someone that would stand up as my dad.
As your dad, yeah.
We were looking for like who was a father figure in my life after my dad passed away. And it hit me that I didn't have any other father figure in the area, in Holland or anywhere. So it felt a bit of emptiness, like, okay, can I just do this program without my dad? Because I was not that familiar with the whole traditional concept. So it was like my mom and my gifts were like, no, you cannot. You need to approach someone. And it was by chance I got in touch again with my uncle in Hungary, and I said to him, I'm going to marry, and would you want to stand in as my dad? And he said yes. He was so happy, and that was when I felt some kind of joy and relief, because the idea that you are going to a program and your dad's presence is required is just saddening at that moment. So I felt it more during the preparations towards the wedding, but on the wedding day itself, it was mostly the joy that took over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baby kakra na mbesa meka. Say wedding no me akra na me feel yi kakra. But Michael, me papa no any pakese pa ye new bisalote de. No any pakese pa. Intimidi me say na enye easy ma Michael. Isa papa ne ti ase a. Em sanka wedding obeya makala no. O te papa ne any pakese. Na ade amani eswa gede say. Em say me kan be ka say no kan no or make advice bi about say bi a wukunu ana say uyuru a my emphasis ade no because of say you think say when one raise you ba na say bibisa. Now I thank God say Michael me mama Portia the way I osi to gift no they say wa fa gift say ne yam ba odo akwala ne pa wa fa ne te say ne yam ba and na gift papa so fa Michael to say ne yam ba it me dynamic says how the pa the em say anko so omo our because mama no upon say na Michael say nyina na ono no reason nyina no or the odone ade it is advice na my sister kan no so yentie say what tete oba na bia bibisi a emfa no nkom denden say e bia wo na atete akwala ni na mahwe me ba na ma yesi e da masi me be e da mpacho bia ma na nsase.
Yeah, I want to give the questions about I say. Now, you're going to take maybe 1 or 2 questions here. After that, next week, we are going to continue. We have a lot of questions here. But one question I have just received, let me ask. If you want to give to it's not compulsory, but if you want, you can ask this question because we don't want to create a mess on this program. The question is, how was the relationship with the stepmother cause you? Because you said that your father remarried. So how did the stepmother it cause you?
Well, the relationship. Well, my name is stepmother relationship, Nadia. I would say it's a beginning, not a good relationship. Me father say me mama, and also family say neba. The man eto sin say no eba wari mo no na owon kola mienu. Inti no oba wari ni mo no after 2 years no. Na ne mami no so every Ghana ebaye enti no me hu se ne mami no every Ghana no ebaye no na fe dia I say nyoma essan because I saw no an yemma every Ghana aba enti no na to me hu se oya ade a as ofeba ne manu mienu no ansa na ye enti no. But beginning oba warem na ne manu free Ghana by no treaty no treaty fell so. But ono ane manu eba no na uhu say is san be mo na fe de ntokwa na doso na bibia no Yeah, into no, like into
Second
no,
question.
enioma sesaye, enioma, I'm trying to say enioma sesaye, but nyamia dom oneme pa bomo separate ways mutually. Omumi no omo you okay. Into no, yeah, my relationship was not bad, but enioma sesaye.
No, that's right. And I'm for next question.
This question goes to Brother Michael. I think this will be the last question, but next week we are going to continue the program again. Brother Michael, because you heard that your father was the big man, was the breadwinner for the family. And the question is that, did you receive any help from your father company after your father passed away? Did you receive any help? Because your father was like a manager.
Yeah, we definitely received help. The thing is, my dad's position was quite important, and they even wanted to give him extra promotion, a combination of 2 departments. They were going to merge, and he was going to head it, but the company doctor advised against it because of health. And when he passed away, the company felt it, because now they had to rearrange, do everything, new plans, and they released a news article in the Eindhoven's Dagblad about my dad, his life at Philips. So they really felt the contribution they did, and they felt his loss too as well. And my dad's colleagues also attended the funeral, and they were there for us. Also, financially wise, we were properly settled. They also paid out amounts to us for the loss. So my dad also had good arrangements financially with the company, but those are things we didn't know. So yeah, that's one of the reasons my mom panicked, and later on we saw like, okay, everything is actually well arranged. So the company settled us with a certain amount, and besides that too, up to a certain age, they were paying my mom contribution support on a monthly basis for our education or other expenses or family expenses because of our loss. So it was like it's similar to like a pension fund for those members of Philips, working at Philips, that lost their family member working there. So indeed, they did help us in many ways, and showed also their respect towards my dad by that news article. So Philips really did a good job towards us after the loss of my dad. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay,
for next question, we will reserve for next week, because I have a
okay. Next week, okay.
You know about Auntie Fia from Gate or near stay for up to now. It's about your question, reason is certified pekona.
If I show you, Auntie Fia, if I show you.
But Auntie Fia, but just saw Mike in my
story.
Changing life.
Changing lives.
You the Nyankopon ase. Me na bisa sa question about Mr. because no ne maame no me sin man no. But now I wanted your kind is okay. There's no need to go inside, because
Yes.
some things hurt when you even talk more about it. But I am say at least kakra no minim se eno so share nim kuran. Minim se e share ne din. Emo hu se oh okay. Sana ti say na nso no me de and na to mothers so ye nyina on platform me kan hu bi obroni ka say love me, love my dog. Say oba ne someone ba ware na say nko odo ne man ti say ono a but don't say do baby change by nti advice ma ye man no so say even ye nua ketwo o ye nua no mba o ye kunu ba o ye treat as our own Na minim say that be wedding no senko ni maame ni jira nka obi po enhu difference. Obi po enkai po say ni maame na ni maame akasa te ase. Say treatment no was to the end that obe warrior. Nka ebi crazy dan e mo stepmothers. Wo ohwa o ma hwa nti ni we nyina ye esua hu de am say ye nyina esua nti nyame so on ka no ho na on hye no sa de na minim say bibi bedi ni ncha enyo no de a obekrom ye fi say wa hu bida. Amen.
Amen.
Nyame show pa. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Salote, we thank you very much for having you on our My Story program to share your story with us. May God richly bless you. And then next week, probably we are going to continue the program. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Boris, thank you.
We thank you so much too. We are really, really grateful, and we hope we impacted a lot of lives today.
A lot.
Okay. Yo, nyame adom so amede nkaibo kakra eba. Monday 9:30 to 10:30. Mama Dina Mpaibo yeshia. Na nyame adom so a 10 to 11:30 every Wednesday yeshia o platform so bompaye. Yeah, home from the no. Na yeah, home from the. And I'm part of Fridays so yeah. And you read 10. We see an adult 12 we see an adult. It's nyame onhira mu nyina medina My Story mpanifo anemu eda obi biara se sa abrini na no de bia around 6:30 on Sunday mo bana mo ne yebebom di dwuma yesra wo se obabi ye youth nyame adom a next week yesra say obema omabasu because afi na ye be share on education level any kwan mo fa so mo timi ko school ni ade ne baby a se say degree a nyame adom ekita omo nyame onhira mu nyina. That's a ne the best issue. Nyame come damasipa.
Before I bobo empire no be busase ejumadi no I went to YouTube and I was so ha and ya pora for the biba ha if say dear time so come it next week you better to aso you know you best
but we are na mama Dina bomb empire no and we are na mama Dina so na wa bomb empire man
Super.
Into we are open so follow the program on YouTube or My Story was a mechanic boy Derek and Yukuma was a mechanic on YouTube now or follow. Now should give it to us. Mama, yenya mawe, nothing is that means. Oh, Diana.
Na papa.
Mama, Bompire Maya, never be my gifts in any Mr. Mike.
Yes.
Yo, me Adam Patton person make some get to be na bompai.
That's good.
Asem ba kwa person make can say. Tichu awofo ye be mu. Uyo oba o. Se unua bi anase ubi bi okra anase aware na abekọ na nkwala no. Omo maame awu agya wo mu anase papa no so bekọ aware na nkwala na papa awu agya wo mu a. Aya take care of nyanka no da bia me ka me si nyankopon na ni sankofo no se upu nyanka na wohwe obi a ni maame anada pa afiri mu ya nyame so sira wo ma no se on the time we wadwen se obo wakọ dan omo maame no mapa afiri mu aware ase a eti omo nkola ne bom tibi beyeye e ma wo ma no kra no na omo so ameye we eti eta paper ti mi sra wo for me ada says wa kwa aware na be ma no ne yure wu a take care of nkola no wo your ba so na wo na be ma no so yire wu na ono so wo ma wo so take care of nkola no na nam so be nyame so apegya wo so wo de na story program ye program be yesua de nti anya ma ye mo so sie ma saafo na nyame so ani akuye so ye ne ma amen
mommy nyame show
Jesus me bompane Odonfo nyankopon enanwumre yeda wase yeda wase awo Nazareth ni Yesu Kristo din mu ene wa ma yate gift ni brother Michael yate awarifo yi story ni omu famu no na ene abepem sabi ya bia ni onyamma wa wurade senkola yi omu kasa ye mu nyina no omu amfiri wo na ase omu kasa ye mu nyina omu de omu ma wa wurade Udi mu na yɛde bibia sa ewie nkunimdie. Enu nti brani amane omu fa mu nya no Awurade wa kya wo. Enwumere yɛda wase. Yɛbɔ mpaeɛ wɔ Yesu Kristo na Nazareti ti mu. Ebra omu ne omu yɛ say sorry Yesu. Yɛmpa bɔne sɛ yɛne yɛsua ne ateɛ no. Awurade ma yɛmfa mu aba na yɛmfa ntu mu anamo. Yɛnso yɛnyɛ nsura. Mebɔ mpaeɛ wɔ Yesu Kristo de to pure platform so. So how be a ife mu bi ato no a asafo Awurade me paacho hwe won so wɔ Yesu de mu. Right Yesu misro hwe won so wɔ Yesu de. So be go through of this program is on so fire mu na ni da so asa onim ne onya and Mr and Mrs Alote o me se o makante Awurade be hwe sa oni ko no so maye e wo Jesus Christ de mu. Ya bomba ye wɔ Yesu Kristo de mu. Sama sorry to my dear, and Radimania Cassie, Manin Quatre, so to me be, some won't be, Senipa be, that's Orientia program. Who are with demons to Yanya Papa, yes, to them. Empire Vanessa over program, Yashi. The just sister gift a job of the market, New Year's support them. And Radu Oma Faso Mopafo, Adoma Dum Pempe, because so I'm a Basacasian Thomas. I could be a best sort of engagement. One we are never doing someone, because someone was someone, because one born by, because someone when you answer, because someone when in dear, and rather be a common yafro, and coming back once I can give the first born and enter for who are Jesus Christ in the more. But by so much more, we are Rajabasan Tosso. I feel one if what to say a piano, a woman, bravo, and yet to my dad. Now, Miss Senator Radima gift in it. A gift in the market, a monk or crown, or Manana, Sa Pamana, a one Bushama, a two gift, a two market. We travel through almost a year, so so oh dear. Omoba tinasia shomoma ashomona na enyina te wo Yesu Kristo dimo na omukwa na no asuo mu ye me bompa ye pejo bi o platform so say radesa say radi obi peba obi pe adwuma obi pa waria obi pe krata yehuwa enna man sorry dwumade so ra mani bi obi bia na da so asano yehuwa udimu mani bi me bompa ye peja man sorry mpanifo radesa nya kase wo mo so radi abasa ntom so Mujumedi enko kane koya sefo na nyina me pompa yese obi bi obesa ni soro ma soro so Awurade sira sa nipa ko no ansa na obi bi aso be sto ko pa no so den sira ne ko sa nipa no so Awurade na obi bi oba platform isu so sa boy ye ho pan opim sa na wotwe be hyiam no oni bia ma obi bia ho ma asem na ye de onyema ma ye da wase de anti va so so na o su progress nyansa ne de ma no ade ko so amane ne de nyansa na bono man sorry mpeta e direct so ne yure attack ne sise boni bia na Yesu dim ye twam wonya me a wa frɛ wakwa koso aboa no na man sorry enko wi ase afa na nyina enwimre rade twa yanso na sade pa bi chie ya ewre fi wase da ye da wase so wadi nkunim wo Yesu Kristo dim amen.
Amen. Mama na nishrapa.
15 Michael. God bless all. That means I'm
God bless you too. Thank you so much.
Oh, I miss you too much.
I miss you too.
I'll come with Mama Dinah to visit you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, one day.
Okay. Welcome.
I mean, next week, you could do this, but you know, a whole and you say of single parents film, would you make here? What will make it? And come back on fire with me. Aha, yeah. It's next week, you know, you ever come do this, but I mean,
it's the man, Metiao.
Amenshiramo metia mupa.
God bless you.
Amenshiro bia.
God bless you. Bye.
Let me shut up. How about you, Papa? Hey, Bishop, you are going to see. I want to catch you right there. Hey, Bishop. Bishop.
Rico, Michelle, Rico.
Bishop, I Frank Congress call your neighbor about it.
Okay, Metro is here. So
I said, they said they are scared, bro. They said they will not.
I said they are so. You want so.